Down by Rich Joyce. Update you, the first period of play is 7-0 lead for Pennsylvania that has held up thus far. A 1-yard run by Steve Hooper, capping a 9-play, 76-yard drive. That's been the only scoring of the game. Second down and about 6 yards to go. 48-yard line, Pennsylvania territory. Payne in motion, the tight end. Hench looking to the air. Rushes on. Hayne being flushed from the pocket. Showing good speed. Got a first down and a whole lot more. And Hench is inside the 35 to the 31-yard line. Sal Soretto finally forced him out of bounds. Gain of about 20 yards on the play.
Well, if there are any questions about Doug Hench coming into the season, he's answered them all. He looks a lot like Jim Kurchicka, who was an all-Ivy quarterback for Penn. Didn't see anything on the left side, slid out to the outside, and has enough speed to get to the outside and get good yards. See him outrun Joyce there, get near the sideline, takes a little hit from Soretto, goes out of bounds, but not before a big gain and a first down.
From the 31-yard line of Dartmouth now, first down for Penn. Gordon to the 30, got a yard, and he paid for it. Harry Wright came over to make the hit.
Well, Pennsylvania hasn't had a lot of success running that little sweep to the short side of the field. You know, in college football, the hash is pretty close to the sideline. They call that running the ball into the boundary. Dartmouth has done a good job. They get penetration on the outside, string the play out, and let their inside linebackers, Joyce and Wright, force the play and make the tackle. They've done a good job of that. Dartmouth much more success in the inside cut plays.
Second down. Second down and about 9 yards to go from the 30-yard line. Rushing, the lone setback. And it goes to Rushing, who's met in the backfield and stacked up. Good penetration up front for Dartmouth. Let's go for an update to our studio and Tim Brando.
Big happenings in Provo, Utah. Washington State with Brad Gosnett, quarterback, on 4th and 1. Look at Sean Bay Wright fair. He goes the right way, and that made it 10-7. Since then, Detmer has been sacked and fumbled. Washington State has it inside the BYU 10-yard line. Back to Wayne.
Third down and 10 for Penn. From the Dartmouth 31. To the outside. Gordon's got a first down and first and goal inside the 10-yard line. Tom Gladden got over to make a touchdown-saving tackle, and Gordon busts one for 21 yards.
There's the cut play. You're going to see the action go toward the right, and he gets the ball. He waits. It's kind of a draw, and he slips to the outside. Does a great job of reading his block on the outside and getting to the outside. Tom Gladden chasing him down from the outside and making the tackle, but not before he got a big first down.
There's a look at Mitch Gordon. He's a small scat back type. They tell me that every year they come to camp, they figure Mitch Gordon isn't going to quite make this football team in terms of being a starter and playing. But he's showing that he's got some, certainly some ability, no question. Gordon again. This time he meets his match in the flat, and Harry Wright snuffs him out. A loss of yardage back near the 15.
You don't play the option any better than that. Doug Hench starts to come down the line on the option. McDonald is in his face immediately. Watch number 99, McDonald, come from the top part of your screen where you don't see it. Gets to the outside. Watch Harry Wright, inside out, makes the tackle. What made that play also, though, was McDonald getting in the quarterback, making him pitch very early. Here, you'll see it. Watch him. Coming down the line, Hench. There's McDonald right now. Made him pitch early. That gives Harry Wright all the room in the world to make the tackle on Gordon, number 25.
And it's a loss of 5. Back to the 15-yard line. Second down and goal to go from the 15. Gordon, the tail of the tandem. Rushing is the fullback. Gordon, the workhorse on this drive. Hit in the backfield and then met at the 15-yard line of the line of scrimmage. Joyce was there. Principal defender on the play for Dartmouth was Meyer. Tim Meyer.
Number 95. He won't get the credit for the tackle, but he's right back there in the backfield again. Harry Wright makes Gordon change direction. You'll see him. There's Harry Wright, number 95, getting the signal call. Watch him. He just comes flying up. He sees run, gets into the backfield. Now Gordon's got to make an adjustment. Slippery field. He can't get his footing very well. Joyce is right there to make the hit.
That little slip hit kind of makes the running back stop, and he loses momentum.
Gives the other linebackers time to get away from blocks and make tackles.
Third down at 15. That's Gordon in motion. Hench nearly intercepted on the play by Tom Gladden. Pass intended for Damon Young. It is a fourth down, and the field goal unit reappears, and it's been a tough day for the field goal specialists.
Well, once again, this is typical of Pennsylvania's football game. They move the ball down the field. They do a great job mixing it up, pass and run. They get some good runs, a good job by their offensive line. It comes down to getting into crunch time in the red zone. They can't get the touchdown, and they go to Rich Friedenberg in the field goal.
Friedenberg on a 32-yard field goal attempt. Out of the hold of Doug Hench. Here's the snap. Friedenberg's kick sails to the uprights, and it is good. So Penn puts the first points on the board since the first period of play. And the Quakers lead it by the score of 10-0. And that sets a record at Penn for number of field goals. Rich Friedenberg, that ties the record, I should say. He has been one of the premier kickers in the Ivy League. Has had a rough day here today, but so has his counterpart on the other side of the line, Dennis Durkin.
I tell you, Buddy Stevens, as you see Rich Friedenberg happy about getting that record over Elliott Berry. But Buddy Stevens right now, he's looking for an offense. He's hoping that an offense will come in here from somewhere. The defense is just doing a super job of tightening up, stiffening up when they have to. Penn moves the ball very well between the 20s once again, gets down inside the 20-yard line, and can't get it done. On that last play, you saw Hench. He really wanted to go to Hain, his tight end in the middle. Didn't see him, tried to throw it out in the flat and got an incompletion. They got the field goal. 10-0's a big lead right now with Dartmouth down in their fourth quarterback.
Friedenberg's kickoff carries to Rozier, straight on, makes the catch at the goal line. Al Rozier barreling across the 25. He stretches to the 28-yard line. There is a penalty marker down.
And there's going to be a lot more. A late hit is going to get called, a personal foul. Mark Fessler trying to make something happen, number 19 for Pennsylvania. After the play was clearly dead, he came in and made a hit, and they're going to get 15 yards tacked on the end of that. That's going to be great field position. That's great for Buddy Stevens right now and for Kansas team coming in. Now watch the end of this play. You see Rozier do a pretty nice job finding a spot, and you'll see number 19, Mark Fessler, come from the outside of your screen, left side of the screen. He's going to put a hit right there on number 42. That's way late, and he's going to get the flag. There he is right there, trying to be aggressive. One of those many linebackers that Penn has. Maybe he's not happy with getting as much. He wants more action on the real field in terms of between the, when Dartmouth has the football, trying to do something on special teams and makes the big penalty.
Boy, they do have a ton of linebackers, don't they? The Quakers of Penn, they go at least 2 deep through their linebacking corps. First down now for Matt Castantine and the Dartmouth offense. The football to the 43-yard line. Castantine to the air, under pressure. Castantine on his own, and he's out of bounds back at the 40-yard line. Loss of about 3. Diedick forced him out of bounds. Take a look at the scoring drive. 9 plays, 41 yards. And again, that Dartmouth defense able to stiffen it once the Quakers had broken inside the 10-yard line, and they settle for the 32-yard field goal.
Well, people around Dartmouth football talked a lot about the defense during this preseason, not a lot about the offense, and they were right on the money. The offense has not been able to get it done thus far. It's all been all defense for the Big Green.
10-0 Penn, 2:12 left to go. Third period of play. Second and 14. Castantine on a long count. The fake to Rozier. Castantine to the sidelines with a pass wide of Swanson. The intended receiver was operating underneath the coverage of Zach Kirk at the 45-yard line of Penn.
A little pressure from Dan Diedick from the weak side, coming in on the outside. Castantine had him in his face a little bit. Just not the arm strength to go and throw back across the field there. Couldn't get the ball out there as you see Diedick go to the sideline.
Now it's a third down and 14 yards to go for this young quarterback.
Let's go, Mike.
From the shotgun formation, Dartmouth in desperate need of a first down to move the football, get back into this game. Castantine hit by Bankston. Pass overthrown, intended for Gilbert downfield at the 40-yard line. Let's head back to our studios for an update from Tim Brando.
All right, Wayne, keeping it in the Ivy League. Harvard now leading Columbia 9-3. Jeff Wood with an 8-yard fumble return for the touchdown. So Joe Restig's club is not getting it done necessarily offensively, though they lead by 6. Let's get back to Hanover.
Matt Brzezicka in punt formation. Oko, the principal deep back, along with the Tom Gibbs, and Gibbs makes the fair catch at the 30-yard line, where it'll be a first down for Pennsylvania. We are in the third period of play, under 2 minutes to go, third period. Penn leading Dartmouth by the score of 10-0.
Well, 3rd and 15, they try to go up top, go across the middle. Usually you like to throw that 15-yard pass in front of the free safety, clear him out with a post. But, you know, I tell you, Castleton just hasn't had it so far, hasn't had the capability to throw that pass. And I tell you, Buddy Stevens is really in a tough spot right now because he doesn't have a quarterback and he's down 10 points.
And as you mentioned, really, Castleton didn't get a whole lot of snaps. Peck and Koldyke took most of the snaps in the preseason with the varsity. First down for Penn. Hooper to the outside for about 8 yards to the 39-yard line. Tom Gladden, the safety. Tim Meyer trailed from the defensive tackle position to make the stop.
Yeah, they're going behind that big right side of the line. Dave Matter, number 64 on the right side. Joe Valeri, of course, we talked a lot about him, number 75. He went right behind those two. Hey, 8-yard gains on first down in Pennsylvania is going to have a lot of room to work.
2nd and 2 at the 38, just across the 38. Pinch to Hooper to the short side of the field, and Hooper picks his way for the first down. Out to the 43-yard line on a gain of about 5. Fine piece of running by Hooper. Riley and McDonald on the stop. There's Castleton on the sidelines. Inexperienced junior. Talking with Buddy Stevens, who was an all-Ivy quarterback here at Dartmouth back in the late 70s.
Buddy doing a little of the coaching now, a little of the teaching on the sidelines. He just didn't have a chance to do that during training camp. He's trying to figure out which of his two quarterbacks are going to be the man.
1st and 10, rushing the lone setback now. Pinch drills it in there to the 49-yard line, and short of a first down. The reception made on the play by Bourgeois. Jeff Blackburn made the coverage. Let's get down to the sidelines and our Kevin Kiley.
Well, thank you, Wayne. I just spoke with Matt Castleton. He said that the defense for Penn not doing anything unusual. Said he just doesn't feel right. The field is wet. He's having trouble getting set. He's not able to get the passes off, but he says, hey, you got to be ready to play, and I'm going back out there.
All right, Kevin, 2nd down and 4 now for Penn. Option play right here. Hench wanted to pitch it but couldn't quite get it away. Tim Meyer made an undercut move on the tackle. It'll be a 3rd down coming up for the Quakers, loss of about 4. Let's go to Tim Brando for an update.
Quick update on the Washington State BYU game. Brad Gosson, he was injured after last year's victory against BYU, and here he finds Calvin Greggs, and he does a Tim Stallworth impression. He goes 49 yards for the score. They had already kicked a field goal after a Ty Detmer fumble. It is 20-7. That's why it's college football, Wayne.
3rd period comes to a close here in Hanover, New Hampshire. The homestanding Big Green of Dartmouth trailing the visitors from Pennsylvania by 10.
There are those who thirst for something different, something beyond the ordinary. For them, there is a beer that refreshes like no other. Michelob Dry. Once you've experienced its bold taste, with no aftertaste, there's no going back.
At Dunhill, our philosophy is simple. Every item that bears the name Dunhill must be useful. It must work dependably. It must last. It must be beautiful. It must be the best of its kind.
Ah, the wondrously versatile Range Rover. Perfect for the highway. Or getting to the bank. It can give Jaguars a run for their money. And it's ideal for driving up to your country home.
Speed. Ricoh Copier Speed. Ricoh's revolutionary menu reader does the job with one button. Fast. Power. Ricoh Copier Power. Built to work to get the job done fast. Ricoh, where imagination becomes reality. To find the Ricoh office nearest you, dial 1-800-63-RICOH.
In the 21st century, an experiment is out of control.
What is your primary function?
The masters of science fiction and horror are unanimous in their acclaim. Clive Barker calls it stylish and hallucinatory. Wes Craven says director Richard Stanley knows the future like Dante knew hell. And Fangoria says it's the best science fiction horror film of the year. Hardware. Rated R. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
We need a big play now, T. Let's go.
Wayne Larrivee, Kevin Guthrie, Kevin Kiley. We are in Hanover, New Hampshire. Dartmouth trailing Penn as we begin the fourth period of play. Third down for the Quakers at the Penn 46-yard line. Doug Hench has gone all the way quarterback and has had a pretty good day. Hooper, the tailback. Not enough for the first down. It'll be fourth down, a punting situation coming up. Gladden got over to make a hit on the play, along with George Neos. Storyline of this football game thus far? Well, it's been a matter of outside of the scoreboard. Penn has dominated statistically in this game. 246 total yards. Hench has been an efficient quarterback. Dartmouth, 2 turnovers have really hurt. They've only been able to manage 123 total yards. And the storyline would lead you to believe that Penn is beginning to wear down the Big Green, despite the fact that they only have 10 points on the board.
The Dartmouth defense has done it once again as Penn lines up to punt. They've stiffened up when they've had to.
Sims punt, carries to the 5 and takes a Penn bounce and is saved by Valerio, the deep snapper, and covered on the play successfully by Bruchke, Odin Bruchke.
Well, you talk about Valerio and his ability to play in the NFL. One of the things that's going to help him is his long snapper. He's the long snapper for punts and field goals. And, you know, an Ivy League player coming out is about 2.5 years behind a Division 1A player. He doesn't play as a freshman. He has no spring ball. And oftentimes the regular player, the 1A players are going to be 5-year players. Valerio is going to be out in 4 years. The long snapper is going to help him in the NFL. He's the first one showing that 5.2 speed to go down there and knock the ball down.
The quarterback, Matt Brzyka, on. He's the punter. You've seen him punt here this afternoon. He's also quarterback, and he gets the call here. A give to the fullback, Frank Fee, for short yardage off right guard, and Fee out to about the 5-yard line, gain of 3 yards.
Well, I tell you what, you know, there's Matt Brzyka coming in his first snap, and he's on a 1-yard line. It's a tough situation to be in. But it's not just the quarterback position that Dartmouth's having to go deep to. You know, they lost Galentine, their best offensive lineman. Matt Dunning, the best one coming into the season, quit, didn't play. Offensive line's having trouble. The quarterback isn't having time. You saw Frank Fee in there at fullback for Neil Martin on that play.
Page got maybe 2 out to the 7-yard line. John Ford made the stop. And Dartmouth continues on the ground to just get 2, maybe 3 yards, Kevin, at best about 4. They've been unable to sustain any kind of offense.
Well, it's tough. You know, Buddy Stevens is going to the 2 deep. He's got Lance Brackey in at 1 tackle. He's got Joe Demeritte in the other tackle. He's in the second group. He's trying to find somebody. He's giving anybody a chance to stand up and play offense right now. Wholesale substitutions, a lot of second players.
Third down at about 4 yards to go. You get a look at it from the end zone. Fake handoff.
Yes, Matt.
Brzyka absorbed quite a hit, but nonetheless got the first down across the 12-yard line.
Well, down there near his own goal line, he's got to do a little better job of protecting the football. You know, holding out in front of him like he's about to pitch. You've got to be very careful. We'll watch Brzyka as he comes out on the option. He's going to go from right to left on your screen, fakes the handoff to Fee, and it's the option down the line of scrimmage. Now, you see how he's holding that ball out in front of him? He's got to tuck it earlier because he's going to take some hits. You might lose the ball, and down there in the shadow of your own goalpost, you cannot afford to do that.
Jay Lee made a pretty good hit on the play. Gain of enough yardage for the first down. To the 14-yard line. Dartmouth, and it's trailing 10-0 early fourth period of play. Frank Fee stacked up by Kopcha. Had Kopcha not been there, that would have been a first down run for Frank Fee because he got through the initial penetration of the defensive line.
We talk a lot about Dartmouth and their injuries and going to the second group and everything. You know, there's another side to every coin, and you've got to say Pennsylvania's defense has been outstanding today. Very well prepared, and they've come out there, executed. They've got a lot of linebackers, a lot of different people. As you see, Matt Castantine, obviously disappointed he couldn't make it happen this afternoon. But great job by Pennsylvania's defense.
Second down at about 7, gain of 3 on the previous play. They set up the slot to the top of your screen with the 2 wide receivers. Swanson's on the bottom. On the pitch to Page, trying to cut it back. Page might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage if he's lucky. Dave Rawitz made a nice move on the interior portion of the defense to get over there on the play.
Just a very tough play to run. You know, against a team that has great linebackers, the option's going to be a tough play to run because you've got guys at linebacker that are going to be chasing the play, going to be all over the field, and you want a team that's going to be very aggressive up in the inside and get outside of it.
And, of course, they string out plays well. When you have good mobile linebackers like that, they string out an option play. Third down, about 6. Brzezicka intercepted on a diving grab by Stephen Palmer. Sensational catch at the 31-yard line of Dartmouth. It'll be Penn first down. 11:03 left to go in this one. The Quakers of Penn lead the Big Green.
I love what you do for me, Toyota. I love how you set me free. I love it. I said I love it.
If you've got the will, Toyota is the way.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
At Dunhill, our philosophy is simple. Every item that bears the name Dunhill must be useful, it must work dependably, it must last, it must be beautiful, it must be the best of its kind.
When I'm biting to your peppermint patty, I get this sensation that it's snowing like crazy. The roads are blocked and they won't be clear till spring.
York Peppermint Patty. Get the sensation.
We tested STP oil treatment under the worst possible conditions. In the taxi cabs in New York City. The result? Engine lift to wear was reduced by up to 50%. And now there's an STP for your newer car, too.
ESPN's College Football is brought to you by your Toyota dealers and their quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light.
Tough time for Brzezicka to come in. He throws to the outside. Watch Palmer. Great extension. Great catch in his hands. Turns that body and somehow manages to keep the football from going to the ground. Great interception. They ought to move him over to receiver on the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
There he is, Palmer, down on the bench.
Made the best catch we've seen today. He's a junior from Poughkeepsie, New York. They told me, the coaches said he was good enough to start, and they'd play a lot of people in their secondary today. They have. Gordon breaks it. Has a chance. He's inside the 5. Mitch Gordon, a senior from Edison, New Jersey. Jeff Blackburn made a touchdown-saving tackle. And Kevin, what we're seeing now is that big offensive line wearing down to the Dartmouth people up front.
Sure, they're wearing him down, and Dartmouth's defense has been on the field a long time, and this game of emotion on the football field, you know, it puts a lot of pressure. You see Gordon do a nice job running. Blackburn tried to strip the ball away. Dartmouth's defense, you know, they're in a real tough situation. They've been on the field all day long.
Gordon and Stokes are the running backs. Gordon gets the call, got a block from Stokes, tripped over Stokes, and then brought down to the 5-yard line. Loss of a yard or two. Rich Joyce got over there to stack it up, along with Tom Gladden.
I tell you, Dartmouth is not giving up, but they really need a miracle. Their defense deserves all the credit in the world for staying out there. They're making hits, they're aggressive, but it's very tough to maintain that intensity level when you're in the face of this and you look over on the other side and you just see your offense, different people going in. You don't know what's going to happen offensively. A lot of pressure on the D.
Double tights in the ball game. Second down and goal to go from the 5, the power I formation. Rushing in Stokes with Gordon the tailback, the fake to Gordon. Hench on a roll, no one out there. Hench brought down short of the 5-yard line. Lost a half yard. It'll be a third down coming up. That was a naked bootleg, it looked like.
Yeah, and I think they expected it to just go waltzing into the end zone. No receiver down there. You see Wright start to react to the right and then start struggling to get back to the left. not really involved in that play until late, and now here he comes. He's in on the quarterback, swiping and scratching and trying to bring him down. Hench on the naked boot went out there all by himself, didn't even have a receiver in the end zone. He was just going to run it in, and he didn't have it.
We've got a break of the action. 9:46 left to go in this Ivy League opener. Penn has the upper hand.
Wild thing. It is a wild thing. Come shout and sing, going in the ring. It could be queen or it could be king. You go your way and I'll go mine. As long as you just make it fine.
Good times roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never let you down.
At Dunhill, our philosophy is simple. Every item that bears the name Dunhill must be useful, it must work dependably, it must last, it must be beautiful, it must be the best of its kind.
Buddy Stevens on the left, Gary Steele on the right. Gary Steele's team facing a third down at the Dartmouth 5-yard line, 3rd down and goal to go. I would think some kind of a pass play here.
Yeah, I'd like to see the play-action pass maybe swing Hooper out into the outside on the left and the wide side of the field.
They've got a slot to the top of the screen. Hooper is in motion to the left. Hench. Pass knocked away by Burge, reaching in front of the intended receiver, Steve Hooper, at the goal line. Beautiful play by Burge, the junior from Aurora, Colorado.
Well, Pennsylvania kind of made a mistake there. They had two receivers in the same place. Damon Young, number 8. Watch. Now, you see Hooper goes in motion, number 33. They didn't really do a play action, just a quick roll. They throw the football. You'll see two receivers within 1.5 yards of each other. Burge is really not the guy responsible for covering number 33, Hooper. He's covering 8. The ball comes over in his territory, and he's able to make the big play.
22-yard field goal attempt. This will set a school record if he makes it. High snap, good placement by Hench, the quarterback, and the kick is good. The lead extends to 13-0 for Pennsylvania over Dartmouth with 9:36 to go in the 4th, and we go to our studio and Tim Brando.
All right, Wayne Larrabee, thank you very much. Auburn leading Mississippi by a score of 9-7. That is late in the second quarter, so Billy Brewer's club making it difficult on Pat Dye. Florida and Alabama, they have just concluded the third quarter. Play underway now in the 4th. Shane Matthews with a 7-yard touchdown pass to make it a 10-10 game, Florida and Alabama. That in Tuscaloosa. Will keep you abreast of that game and all the others as we continue to track College Football 90 on this very festive Saturday.
I believe so.
Just as we left for that update from the studio, and we had a penalty on that field goal. Personal foul, the preliminary indication against Dartmouth.
The question is it after the play? Is it a dead ball penalty?
If it's a dead ball penalty, they can assess it on the kickoff, yes.
But, you know, the Pennsylvania offense has come back on the field, so it must have happened early. Let's get the signal from the officials. You got a personal foul on Dartmouth, and it's going to be first down. So it happened during the play. They're going to take the points off the scoreboard. You know, that's the kind of thing that happens when you start to get a little tired. You're frustrated defensively. Dartmouth gets a big penalty there. Buddy Stevens talking to the official. He's disappointed. He didn't want to have those kinds of penalties. Obviously, in a situation like this, 13-0, Dartmouth could have gotten back with 2 touchdowns. Now Penn's going for the score.
Pennsylvania with a 1st and goal. Nose of the football just inside the 3-yard line. Rushing and Gordon, the backfield tandem. Young is on the wing, bottom of your screen. Big hole, Gordon. Came right through your screen.
Well, Well, it doesn't take much when you're a running back. You start out a little bit to the right, you take the ball, and you see a hole about 10 feet wide to run through, and you only got to go 4 or 5 yards into the end zone. Mitch Gordon with the easy touchdown. It's fun to make those runs. No hits, no nothing. Watch. Doug Hench takes the football, starts. You got the big guys in front. Look at this block by Valerio. Just drives Joyce to the outside. Hey, that's what you got number 75 for. He's pulling. It's the counter tray play. 2 big linemen in front. Touchdown.
Friedenberg for the point after. Blocked. Somebody got a piece of it in the interior line, but the lead extends to 16-0 Penn over Dartmouth with 9:32 to go.
Hi, I'm Len Young, president of Key Ford in White Plains. You'll never have bargains like you do right now at Key Ford.
Key Ford and the factory have teamed up to bring you incredible discounts. We've got $700, $900, $1,000, $1,300, $1,500 cash back. We've got 8.9, 7.9, 2.9% low financing. You may never see prices like this again.
Key Ford has the keys to huge savings for you.
Key Ford on Westchester Avenue in White Plains.
A whole lot of winning going on at the winning track. At Yonkers Raceway, we'll bet that you want to come back. Come on, there's a whole lot of winning going on.
Yonkers is free during September. Free general admission on every performance and free general parking. Harness racing Monday through Saturday nights at 8, plus a Tuesday matinee at 1. Come out now because September is free.
Yonkers Raceway. There's a whole lot of winning going on.
There's something to shout about on ESPN.
Hawkins may go all the way. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Sack
Touchdown! Two outstanding offenses face off when the Orangemen of Syracuse battle Big Ten contender Michigan State. It's live college football action. Saturday night at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Buddy Taven's team down 16-0, and they've been able to generate very little consistently offensively here today. Friedenberg's kick to Rozier at the 10. Upended in spectacular fashion across the 25 out of the 29-yard line. Undercut move made on that tackle attempt. And there's a look at the Penn offensive unit. 6 plays, 31 yards. That personal foul spearing on the field goal is what gave Pennsylvania new life inside the 5-yard line, and Gordon went into the end zone on about a 2.5-yard run untouched. Second touchdown of the day. Dartmouth on a first down. Brzezicka on a quarterback. On the rollout. Hits Bobo near the 40, and I believe, depending on the spot of the ball, he's just short of the first down.
Now, going back to the field goal, I understand spearing on a play when you got a ball carrier or a quarterback, the guy gets hit and leads with a helmet, you get a spear. But how do you get a spear on a field goal? I mean, if it's an interior lineman, they always drive their heads down into the ground anyway, you know, to just try to get some penetration. I don't see how you can make a spearing call down that close unless it was real late in the play. Weird call on a field goal.
It certainly was. Second down at a yard for Dartmouth, the 38-yard line. Give to Rozier, the blocking stacked up on him, and he was snowed under for a loss of yardage back to the 36, loss of about 3. Over to make the hit, Sean Boyle, the nose tackle, who's played well here today, and Jay Lee, the all-Ivy League linebacker. Well, you know, the information we got, of course, the official only signals to the crowd in the press box, personal foul. We were told from down to the sidelines that it was for spearing, and that is a most unusual call on a field goal, no question. Third down now at about 4 yards to go for Dartmouth.
Okay.
The option, Brzezicka to Rozier. Nothing there. He got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard out to the 36-yard line, and Jay Lee again was there to force him out.
There's Steve Howard on the sideline, number 62, an offensive lineman for Pennsylvania. Interesting story about him, not normal for the Ivy League. Steve has a python, a 9.5-foot python named Chuck. He lives with a bunch of the other players, Dan Curtin, Brian Griffin, Steve Hooper, the running back. 9.5-foot python. They feed him rabbits. He lives in a closet in the basement.
Punch shanked by Brzezicka a bit. but does get a Dartmouth roll inside the 40. I'd hate to be cleaning their apartment and open that closet door, unwittingly unleashing a 9-foot python.
Well, you know, the funny thing about that is when I was talking to Steve, I said, you know, I may say something about this. Does your landlord know you got a 9.5-foot snake living down in the closet in the basement? He said, yeah, it's cool, it's cool. We got the thing a year and a half ago. The thing was 2 feet long. They throw a rabbit in there a couple times a week. The thing's up to 9.5 feet. It's about diameter of about 6 inches. Not your average Ivy League pet, I don't think, and breaking the stereotypes the Ivy League people have out there.
Or maybe it is. First down now for Pennsylvania. And on the give to Stokes. Leaps forward for about 4 out to the 42-yard line, maybe 5. Tom Morrow made the stop on the play.
It's a chance for Pennsylvania now to have some fun. They've dominated the football game. Dartmouth's defense deserves a lot of credit for staying in there. But right now, they're firmly, obviously, in control. Dartmouth, with all their problems on offense, behind 16-0, 7.5 minutes to go in the ballgame.
Second down from the 42 at about 5 yards to go. Sunday rush out to the 45 on a gain of about 3, leaving a 3rd down and 2 yards to go coming up for the Quakers. Michael O'Flynn, Jeffrey Blackburn team up on the stop. Inside of 8 minutes left to be played in the football game.
Friday afternoons, the offensive and defensive lines of Pennsylvania have a nice tradition. They call it the Gator Bowl. The linemen get down there near the 10-yard line and play a little touch football. Joe Valerio is the offensive specialist, the quarterback, and they have some fun. The offensive line done a great job today for Pennsylvania.
3rd down call at about 2. Mix up in the backfield. Hench run out of bounds. It'll be 4th down punting situation. Loss of a couple of yards. Tom Morrow forced him out. He bumped into his running back.
Well, watch number 34, Sunday Rush. He'll come up and go the wrong way, I'm sure. He's in the ballgame for the first time. Hench just says, oh, try to get what I can and go to the outside. Gets knocked out. Dartmouth stiffens up again and gets their offense the football. Dartmouth defense just staying in the football game.
Hanging tough, aren't they?
They deserve a lot of credit. You know, we talked about Buddy Stevens easing off a little bit on the conditioning and the hitting. These guys are in great shape. The fatigue factor didn't really set in. Their defense did a good job.
Sims just did get that punt away. Ed Burley trying to make something happen. Out across the 20 to the 23-yard line, stopping the clock with 6:36 to go in this 4th period of play. Well, I'll tell you, Dartmouth is playing without their starting quarterback, Kevin Peck. He contracted mono this week. Here's how the coaching staff and his teammates found out about it.
That was really a shock. We had no idea there was any illness involved whatsoever, and we were right in the middle of a scrimmage situation. The trainer came up, and he was a little bit nervous, and he said, I have to talk about your quarterback. He won't be able to play. And I said, you're kidding. He's out there right now. He's looking pretty good. He said he has mono, and he'll be out for about a 4-week period. So we stopped practice. He had to go into the training room, and we brought the team together and explained to him that basically a battlefield promotion. Ben Koldyke now became our starter. And the kids did a nice job rallying around him for the remainder of practice.
There's Buddy Stevens, his team now facing a 2nd down and 10, as you saw the incomplete pass from Matt Brzyka. Brzyka is the 3rd quarterback we've seen here today. Ben Koldyke, senior, suffered a concussion, a slight concussion. Matt Castantine came on, a junior with very little experience. And now Matt Brzyka, who is also the punter for this football team, is in at quarterback. From the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Brzyka has some running room. The hook slide across the 30-yard line. He's short of the 1st down. Let's go back to the studio for an update and Tim Brando.
Wayne, last week, Florida blocked a punt and a field goal tried by Oklahoma State. They did it again to Alabama. Richard Fain will block it. It's recovered by Spencer, Jimmy Spencer. Look out, the Gator bite is back. They're up by 7 in Tuscaloosa. Oh, I wonder if Bill Curry knows this score.
3rd down and about a yard to go just across the 32-yard line for Matt Brzyka and the Dartmouth offense. Page, the tailback, gets about 6 yards out across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Let's get on to the sidelines and Kevin Kiley. Kevin, some more information perhaps on that personal foul that wiped out a field goal for Penn and set up their touchdown.
All right, Wayne, you and Kevin both said it was a strange call. Indeed, it was a strange call. What Dartmouth was trying to do was block the field goal. The middle guard, Riley, the person they called the penalty on, went head-to-head against the center, trying to drive him back. The official called spearing on the middle guard. Very unusual. The Dartmouth defense very upset about it. Back up to you.
And it cost him, no question. Brzyzka back to throw on first down, being chased by Boyle. Oh, good throw to Swanson for a first down out near the midfield marker.
Well, Buddy Stevens hoping he's found his quarterback. Brzyzka showing a lot of great field awareness. Watch, he's got a lot of pressure as the quarterbacks have had all day. It's not just their fault. Look at that, coming in immediately. He breaks to the outside. And watch, he'll throw against his body. He's running to the left, throws back right on the money to Swanson, who makes a nice little possession catch down on the ground. Super play there by Brzyzka.
I mentioned he's also the team's punter. He's a two-sport star, football and baseball, and he wants to play lacrosse in the spring. Brzyzka on first down. Swanson can't haul that one down. Underneath the coverage of Zach Kirk inside the 40-yard line of Penn.
Look at Harry Wright watching from the sideline, hoping his offense can get it done and shaking his head a little bit like he's not sure they can. But Brzyzka dropped back and set up real nice there, real confidently. Threw the ball, got a nice release up over the head. The ball was a little high. Swanson could have made a nice catch. He had two hands on it, but couldn't come down with it.
He also had good protection on that play. You know, you brought up a good point, Kevin. It's not just the quarterbacks, the inexperienced quarterbacks. They've had to go a couple of deep in the offensive line, and that's very difficult to do. Second down and 10 now from the shotgun with 4:52 to go. 16-0 Penn. Brzyzka.
Nice job.
Brzyzka on a spin move. Nowhere to go now. He got maybe a yard.
Carry by Brzyzka.
You know, he did a great job. Obviously, you saw it spinning and fighting and fighting. And when he does that, that's going to lift his offense a little bit. Even though it didn't get a big play, he didn't take the big sack. But look at this pressure. Pennsylvania right in the backfield immediately. He slides forward. They just got the jersey. He keeps fighting, keeps slipping. Kopcha misses him. Then a couple guys come back from behind. But a great effort by Brzyzka, even though it wasn't a great end result.
Third down conversions. Dartmouth 4 for 15. Really, neither side has done very well in that category. Third and a little bit less than 10. Just a little bit less than 10 yards. Brzyzka. Lots of running room. I believe he's just short of the first down. Tom Oko came up in a hurry from the secondary. Gain of about 9. The official signal for a timeout they're going to measure.
That's where Brzyzka's lack of experience really hurts him. This happened on a play before. Now watch Brzyzka. He'll drop back to pass. He'll look. He gets a lot there. Now watch Gilbert in the middle of screen number 28. Nice block right there. Gives him some room. But Brzyzka, he slipped, but he's going down. He doesn't really know where the first down is. He's got to go forward, not slide at that point. You know, this point of the ballgame down 16-0, he's got to dive forward and put the ball out to get the first down. You see, he slid down and went down underneath the defender, Oko. If he lunges forward and puts the ball out there, he gets the first down. Tough play, you know, it's just experience. The experienced guys, they'll look to the sideline, even as they're running up the field, and know what they've got to get. I saw Major Harris do that a lot last year. You know, you've got to have the experience to do that. Brzyzka will find that if he gets a lot of action this season.
He's a little bit less than a yard to go for the first down. And, of course, Dartmouth game situation, trailing 16-0. A little over 3 minutes left to go. They're going to go for it. From the Penn 42 on 4th down and 1. Page to the outside. He got the first down, even though he is stormed back by that fired-up Pennsylvania defense. Zach Kirk and Jay Lee.
Well, watch Lee. You know, Page is not a big guy. Lee starts to slide into the inside from that outside linebacker spot. He's got Bobo blocking him. He takes the hit. Now he gets a hold of the legs and lifts and drives. You know, he's supposed to be about 200 pounds, but I don't think Page is that big, and he's only about 5'8".
Lawrence Taylor move at the end of the play. First down now. High snap out of a shotgun to Brzyzka. Going over the top for Bobo. Nearly intercepted by LaRon Sidbury. Well, Bobo made the turn, and he had a couple of steps on the defense.
Yeah, the ball was thrown a little bit early. Brzyzka's seen the corner route. Now Bobo's going down the field up the hash mark. He's going to plant his foot about 15 yards and head toward the corner, toward the outside of the field. Brzyzka threw the ball too early. He needed to get the ball up and way out there, out by the 10-yard line. Really, he's lucky LaRon Sidbury didn't sit back underneath that and make the pickoff.
Second down and 10 coming up for Matt Brzyzka, sophomore from Bloomington, Minnesota. At the 37-yard line of Pennsylvania. Penn leading it 16-0 in this Ivy League opener. from the shotgun. Gilbert in motion. Too much time on the play clock. Officials hold up action here.
Looks like it did take too much
Delay
time.
of game.
Tough break for Dartmouth. Dartmouth's showing a lot of heart coming back here right now. And, you know, Buddy Stevens is telling his players, hey, we're just 2 touchdowns out. If we can get two-point conversions, let's get it done. Brzezicka showing a lot of spirit out there. Tough penalty to take, though, and that's an inexperience on the quarterback side.
Second down now and 15 yards to go. 42-yard line, Pennsylvania territory. Gilbert again, the man in motion. Brzezicka under pressure right away, running for his life. Sidearm pass intended for Swanson off the mark. Third down coming up. We head back to the studio for another update, and Tim Brando.
What a difference a week makes, Wayne Larrabee. Look at this. Ty Detmer with his second interception of the game. This is Alvin Dunn picking it off for Washington State. And Dennis Erickson's old team doing what Dennis Erickson's current team could not do. Score with defense. Washington State 29-7 in the second quarter.
Third down to 15 yards to go from the 42-yard line of Penn. Matt Brzezicka in the shotgun formation, the third at Dartmouth quarterback today. Brzezicka going deep for Swanson. Touchdown!
Pass pattern that hasn't been run all day. Swanson, a decathlete. You said he was an all-New England decathlete a year ago. He runs the deep post. Brzezicka lays it out there. Look at the ball up and over. And Swanson making a good catch with a guy right on his back and struggles to get in the end zone. Zach Kurt just beat on the play, and Swanson goes in for the score.
So Dartmouth finally on the board with 2:53 left to go. They trail 16-6, obviously going for a 2-point conversion. Timeout on the field. We'll return for the final 2 minutes plus of this football game after these words.
I have 175,828 miles on my Toyota truck, and we still use it for camping, skiing. 118,108 miles. Oh, Blue just goes and goes and goes, and we're always on call.
Call us if you and your Toyota truck have a 100,000-mile story.
Story? 6,059 miles. 335,809 miles. Top that.
When you learn to shoot cool?
I invented the game.
New tape? Uh-huh. Well, fancy.
Just because I use something every day doesn't mean it has to look like it was made before World War II.
No way you're making that shot.
You got no chance today, pal. I've even got better socks than you.
Chris Kelly knows a little beachfront hotel where the view is breathtaking, but the prices aren't. Now, where do you suppose she'd rent a car? Budget, where she can reserve a car that's less than 6 months old in less than 3 minutes. Bob Nickel knows a little French cafe where the food is magnifique, but the bill isn't. Now, where do you suppose he'd rent a car? Budget, where he finds the most luxury Lincolns, over 3,500 locations worldwide, and very tasteful prices. The smart money is on budget.
Dartmouth going for the 2-point conversion here. Pennsylvania on its last touchdown had the extra point try blocked, and that could turn out to be critical here in these final 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Page, the tailback, Fee is the fullback. Bobo at the top of your screen. Demaray, the tight end, at the bottom. Gilbert, the man in motion. They're going wide with Page for 2. He lost his footing and went down to the play. Buddy Stevens
tried to go with a toss sweep. He likes Sean Page's ability to burst and get onto the outside and go to the corner. Couldn't get it done. But I tell you what, we're going to go back to that touchdown. Swanson at the bottom of your screen, number 84. He's going to be covered right up front by Zach Kirk. Kirk softens up at the last minute, but he's got coverage all the way. Beautiful pass by Brzycka. He throws it up and over, and you'll see Swanson just race under it. Beautiful catch. Look at that concentration. Makes the catch and gets into the end zone. Super play for Dartmouth. You got to give Buddy Tevens a lot of credit. I tell you what, you know, you get in there, and as you look at Swanson there on the monitor, electrical engineering major from San Jose, California, you got to give Tevens a lot of credit for his during-the-game coaching. Not from a standpoint necessarily the X and O's. He had a lot of trouble offensively. But from the intangibles, this team stayed in the football game. They never quit. His defense stayed after it, and they had a chance to get back in it. Obviously, they needed that two-point conversion. It's going to be awfully tough for them to get back in it now. You'll obviously see an onside kick coming up right here.
Now, we've illustrated the fact that Kevin Peck is out with an illness. He was the starting quarterback. Ben Koldyke incurred a concussion in the first half of play. Matt Castantine came on, an inexperienced quarterback. Now Brzycka, the punter, comes on to play. He's also a quarterback. So they've gone deep on the quarterback chart. But also left guard Chad Galentine went out very early in this ball game with an injury, and he's their best offensive lineman. So it's like you said earlier, it's not just the quarterback position that's made it tough on Dartmouth today from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah, hey, they didn't like the way the first-team offensive line was doing. You saw other tackles get in the ballgame. You saw other guards. He's just doing anything to keep this team alive, to keep the emotion there, and they stayed right in the ballgame. It's going to be tough here. Here comes the onside kick.
Matt Taylor will attempt the onside kick. And it is captured immediately by one of the upbacks. Jay Lee, I believe, is the man who grabbed the football. Part of the all-hands team in that front line. Jay Lee is the guy who comes up with it.
Hey, at the very top of the show, we talked about Jay Lee. The defensive coaches said he was the best athlete on this defense. He does a great job there because the kick is short. He dove out, caught the ball in his hands, got on top of it. You know, you don't usually see your 6-foot, 192-pound linebacker be the guy that you want in that premium spot there on the onside kick.
And from the 43 of Dartmouth, Pennsylvania, on the attack, Eric Hull is in at quarterback. Sunday Rush, maybe a yard, down to the 42. Sean Riley playing hard at the nose tackle spot. Tim Myers had a fine game at defensive tackle for the courageous Dartmouth defense. They team up on the stop.
Oh, he was great all day. Great penetration from number 55 for Dartmouth. He's been in the backfield all day. Sunday Rush, I don't know. You know, if he could just make the NFL, it would be perfectly appropriate for
Does he have a great name?
Yeah, that's awesome.
There are a couple of others on these two teams that have the great names for pro football. Out of the I formation on 2nd and 9. Hull to Rush, stacked up. He got by Meyer and then was stacked up on the play as the linebacker, again, Harry Wright, flowed the football beautifully. I'll bet Harry Wright is a guy they can't take out of the ball game. No, I'll bet he doesn't let them take him out of the ball game.
No, you remember he got a little banged up, came hobbling off the field. He wasn't going to leave the field. But shoot, look at Meyer again there. The great penetration, getting in the backfield. What that does, guards have to hold a block on Harry Wright for a long time when the play gets bounced to the outside. Nobody can do it in this league. I tell you what, Harry Wright's going to have a lot of tackles this season.
Third down, a little bit less than 9 yards to go, just inside the 42. Hull off play action, rolling right. Hull going to take it himself, and he's short of the first down, but not by much. Let's see where they spot the ball. I believe they're going to mark it to the 34, which would put him just short of that first down. Whoa, they've got it marked just inside the 34-yard line, so indeed Hull might have picked it up. Cliff McDonald got over to make the stop, along with Tom Gladden in pursuit.
Hull is an entirely different kind of quarterback. According to Gary Steele and the offensive coaching staff, he's a real fiery leader, kind of a street fighter, and that's the way he likes to play, as opposed to his Doug Hench, who started a poised, confident kind of leader. So they got two different looks from their quarterback. Obviously, they're just trying to get Hull some work here late in the game. The two fought it out, you know, very close, nip and tuck right through training camp. Hench gets the starting job. Hull's getting a little action here. They want to keep him up. They don't want to lose him from a standpoint of, you know, feeling like he's not getting to play and getting down. So they get him in the ball game here at the latter part of the first football.
And they are just short of the first down. Just short. I imagine they're going to go for it here. Why not? Minute 27 left to go in the game. You and I talked with coaches from both teams yesterday, and I think you made a good point. Penn felt more comfortable with their inexperienced offensive skill people than did Dartmouth's coaching staff.
And there's no question about that, and that's proven here. You know, you saw three running backs all have really good days. It's going back to the mid-'80s when Flynn and Comizio for Penn were in the backfield. You're going to have Gordon rotating in there. You're going to have Matthews in there. You're going to have Hooper in there. And your quarterback situation is pretty good. The guy did a tremendous job today, Doug Hench, although he had a little trouble getting him into the end zone.
On the handoff to the running back off the right side, I believe that's Hooper back into the ball game. Steve Hooper, the experienced back who started the football game for Pennsylvania, and he does pick up the first down. Joyce and McDonald responded, but not in time, and so it's 1st and 10 for Pennsylvania, and that should just about kill the hopes of Dartmouth here. 16-6 now, Pennsylvania on top.
As you reflect on this football game, I think Penn's back. If they can get somebody to get the ball in the end zone down inside the 20, they've got a real good shot at going all the way with this thing, the Ivy title. They've got a lot of horses up front, an excellent defense, which wins the football games. As you see Hooper take the ball to the outside. Dartmouth also, I think they're going to beat a lot of people. They showed a lot of heart, a lot of spirit in this football game, never quit. But Pennsylvania may be the team to beat early right now. They've got it together.
Gain of about 9 on that play. 2nd down and a yard to go coming up. Carlson made the stop along with Morrow for Dartmouth. I don't think there's any question about it. Dartmouth is going to be better offensively in the future down the road than they are today.
You know, the way Brzezicka came in and did some things here at the end, obviously Koldyke will come back from that concussion next week. But
and really, Kevin Peck could be back, too, before the season is out.
Who do you go with next week? I mean, Brzezicka showed a lot of heart. As Joe Valeria shows a little excitement. Comes off the line of scrimmage, you're going to get a little penalty there. But, you know, who do you go with next week? I mean, you had Koldyke got all the repetitions, all the work during the training camp. But you got to admire Brzezicka. He ran the ball well out of the pocket. He threw the big touchdown over the top, which Koldyke clearly didn't show the capability while he was in there of being able to do. I don't know. Brzezicka's got a case for wanting to be the quarterback of this football team for the rest of the season.
As well as the punter. There's a look at Brzezicka. And Eric Hull, number 10 for Pennsylvania. Junior from Mentor, Ohio. It's a good name for a football town, too. Mentor, the mentor of the Buckeyes. 2nd down now off the penalty. About 6 yards to go. Muhammad Ali in motion to the near side. This is Hooper. Oh, and he's met by Blackburn. Gain of maybe 2 yards down to the 26 as time winds down to this football game. 14 seconds remaining. They stop the clock. Timeout taken by Dartmouth. I believe that's their last timeout, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice little mismatch out there on the near side of the field. As you saw, Muhammad Ali, you called him, coming in motion, number 83, slid out to the outside. Who does he got to block? The first guy who's going to have contain out there. Oh, no, 6'3", 225 pounds, Jeff Blackburn. He lets him go right by him, and Blackburn puts a nice hit on the back to make the tackle. You know, as a receiver, you want to block the safety, or you want to block the corner. You don't want to come out there and find out the first contain is a defensive end and weighs 225 pounds. Ali didn't exactly get the better of the matchup.
Nor would you expect him to. We mentioned Ali. He's a transfer from George Washington, ran track at Penn, and was a finalist for the 400 meters at the heptagonal games. He's had a good camp, and really, Penn came into this game. Damon Young and Wes Carter had both played in a rotation at wide receiver last year, but Ali and Rod Bourgeois won the starting receiving jobs for Penn in the training camp this year, which gave this football team much more depth.
Penn's got a lot of the elements. They got the big offensive line. They got the backfield. They've got the wheels. Ali's got great wheels. Matthews, you saw turn on the Jets. He runs a 4x100 for their track team. They got all the elements of a real nice offense. When they put it together, they did a pretty nice job here today.
3rd down, a little bit more than 4 yards to go. Hooper into the middle of the line, and nothing there. Time winding down to this football game. Another timeout taken, and that, I think, is Dartmouth's last timeout. That should be it. 9 seconds left to go. Buddy Stevens and company playing out the strings, so to speak. Special thanks to sports information directors who helped us out, Kathy Slattery and Don Cameron from Dartmouth, and Steve Hurlbut and his staff from Penn. Appreciate their assistance on this game here today, along with the head coaches, Gary Steele for Pennsylvania and Buddy Stevens for Dartmouth. Next week, we'll be at Harvard Stadium in Boston, or in Cambridge, technically, outside of Boston, and we'll have Harvard and Northeastern for you here in the early game on ESPN.
I say you really saw the character of the Ivy League, the type of play you have. You got some good hitting, you got some good defense out there, but you got two teams that played their hearts out. Dartmouth, I was really amazed at the way they stayed in the ballgame. They never quit. They tried to make a ballgame of it right down to the end, even without a lot of activity going on offensively. Their defense was tremendous. You pull out special players. Harry Wright is clearly a special player. Tim Meyer had a super day defensively. And just a good job on both sides. A nice Ivy League football game for our first game of the season.
And again, next week, we've got the Crimson of Harvard against Northeastern. Crosstown rivals there in that game coming up at 12:30 Eastern time. We're looking forward to it. Fourth down. Penn is going for it to try to kill the clock. The final seconds ticking away. Hull on a roll, looking downfield. Now he's just going to lose some yardage. Try to run out the clock. Oh, I said he was going to lose some yardage. He gained about 2 or 3 yards on a wild run. That Blackman makes the final tackle of the game as these two football teams conclude their season opener. Buddy Tevens heading across the way to meet Gary Steele, and they shake hands on the left side of your screen. Penn has defeated Dartmouth to open the Ivy season 16-0. 16-6 the final.
Attention all cat lovers, here it is, the Cat and Mouse Watch. What a charming way to keep perfect time. It gives you seconds just as precisely, but more playfully than other watches. And it's lavished with quality features to combine a unique style with amazing accuracy. In fact, we guarantee the accuracy of your heirloom watch with a no-nonsense 25-year refund policy. You'll thrill to loving details like the sable gray leatherette strap and the gleaming gold tone case and superb imported quartz movement. Now, on this special TV offer, you get a genuine cat and mouse watch complete with its own personal and numbered certificate of authenticity. All for the unbelievable price of just $19.99. So don't lose time. Have your credit card ready and call now for rush delivery. To order, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-346-3000 or send check or money order for $19.99 plus $4 shipping and handling to Cat and Mouse Watch, 1000 American Way, Roanoke, Virginia.
One airline works harder than any other to make sure that a good landing not only means getting you there on time, but landing your bag in your hand on time as well. United. Come fly the friendly skies.
ESPN's coverage of college football continues. Now with all the scores and highlights, Tim Brando and Lee Corso.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to our college football scoreboard show. We're going to take you up to the top of the hour in some golf that we have on the way here on ESPN. And don't forget, more football yet to come tonight. Michigan State taking on Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. But what a day it has been so far in college football. I know there were 3 major upsets last week, but when it's college football, you never know. Last year, Washington State beat BYU 46-41 on a Thursday night. Mike Price had Steve Broussard in his backfield that year, and he had Brad Gossin at quarterback. Gossin did return today, and take a look at what happened in Provo, Utah. Pretty incredible ball game as Gossin goes to work. Remember Tim Stallworth? Well, that's Calvin Griggs doing his best Stallworth impression. 49 yards after the button hook, 20-7 Washington State. Ty Detmer. Well, you can win a Heisman, and if you're a quarterback, you can lose a Heisman in a hurry. 2 interceptions thus far in the game. This one for a touchdown. Alvin Dunn will return it all the way. That made it 29-7. Washington State taking the lead in that ball game. Still plenty of time remaining. And, of course, the BYU Cougars have been known to come from this far back in the past. But Lee Corso, who joins me, Dennis Erickson, coached Washington State. The same offense that he employed is the same one that Mike Price kept. And boy, has it been working better for him than it did for Miami.
The difference is Mike Price was the head football coach at Weber State, 35 miles away from Provo. The BYU coaches were terrified the fact that he knows more about BYU than any other team except the people working on his staff, and he proves it again today.
I think a lot of people also felt that Washington State, coming off that loss against Wyoming, may not be the same club without Broussard, but BYU's problems over the years stopping people.
But the problem's up here. You win a big game like Miami, immediately you're talking about it all week, and Washington State's waiting for them. Oh, what a perfect time for an upset.
And that's why it's college football, and we've got more on the way, believe me. Mississippi taking on Auburn. This ball game now at halftime. It is 9-7. Pat Dye running with a third-string tailback. That's been part of the problem. Mississippi has Russ Showers with an 11-yard touchdown pass, and that's the key in that ball game. It is 9-7. Penn State and USC, that ball game just getting underway. Paterno could fall, remember, to 0-2. First time that's happened since '83. Colorado is taking on Illinois in a game that will be getting underway. The Illini coming off that loss to Arizona. Colorado does not want to be a big disappointment either. They barely beat Stanford, you'll recall, on a Thursday night. Miami of Florida taking on California. Erickson trying to get it back in shape against Bruce Snyder's ball club, a much improved team, though Troy Taylor has graduated. Navy and Virginia. This ball game now in the fourth quarter. Virginia 56-7. Sean Moore has now become the all-time Virginia total offense leader. He has touchdown passes to Herman Moore again today. 49-7, Welsh beating his old team. He's the winningest coach at both Virginia and at the Naval Academy. Pitt and Oklahoma, the game being played in Norman. Not many people know as much about Oklahoma because they weren't on the tube a year ago. Gary Gibbs wanted to throw, though. He wanted to throw more than usual. And he wanted to have a high-stepping kind of day at Owen Field. Pitt on the move early. Swerving Curvin busts up the middle for 14, but once inside Oklahoma territory, Alex Van Pelt, the sophomore, with play action, but he's picked off, intercepted by Chris Wilson off the tip drill. Oklahoma would take over. Then on OU's first play from scrimmage, Steve Collins with the pump fake. Otis Taylor, Hank Stram, remember that name? Not the same guy, though. 7-0. Taylor, as you might expect, pretty excited, as are the Oklahoma faithful. And then Oklahoma knows how to run as well. Kenyon Rashid bursts up the middle for 17 into Pitt territory. 4 plays later, give it to Rashid. He had 54 yards on 3 carries in that drive. And Oklahoma looking strong as usual at Owen Field. The percussion section is getting busy. 21-3 in the second quarter, that score. And I think a lot of people, Lee, felt that with Pitt's offensive attack being well balanced with the run and Richards and the pass and Van Pelt, they would give Oklahoma a better show.
Forget it. Speed, speed, and more speed in athletes. Pitt hasn't seen those kind of athletes in a long time. Oklahoma's one of the best 4 teams in the nation. I believe that.
Yeah, Pitt's defense may be a little slow, and it's showing so far. Maryland and Clemson. You'll recall we told you at halftime of the Ivy League game, Scott Zolak was quite a story. Well, Clemson's Deshaun Cameron became the story late in this one with a touchdown pass early in the fourth to Rudy Harris of 12 yards. That proved to be the game winner, but a key Doug Thomas kickoff return of 98 yards changed the momentum in this game. 18-17.